The rock stars on stage, and everybody expects a show. This is Jimmy Rollins on a player breakdown. One of the best offensive shortstops in the game. Hits it, the camera's on his face. And he got the hair popping, he's fly.
That's not me, that's me. I gotta go. Take it, Sandman. So happy when they don't block me.
I want to see your misses too, your 1,000 of misses.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of those. My name's Adam Sandler.
Juancho Hernan Gomez.
I am the better looking of the two of us. No? We did a movie together called Hustle. It's about a scout finding an incredible find overseas, and we bring him over to the United States and try to get him going in the NBA. It's his journey to show he belongs.
I'm Stanley Sugarman. I'm a scout for the 76ers.
Oh!
So you're 22 years old.
Oh!
Because you can't be in the draft if you're over 22.
Yes, I'm 22 years old.
Who's this?
It's my son.
How old is he?
He's 10 years old.
Okay.
So this is me on the road. I'm questioning Boban's character. I don't even know Boban's character's name. Serbian overseas player. But Boban was funny as hell. You all know he's great. He's funny. One of the best texters I've ever seen in my life. Anything he texts, he follows with about 30 things of the guy crying, laughing, right? I mean, Juancho and Bobby are very tight.
We were tied until they beat my ass out of the playoffs. Even on the other bench, he looked at me and I just started laughing.
Of course, man.
We were talking on the middle of the court, and Boban was telling to the referees, "Hey, look, this is a movie star. Juancho is a movie star. Look, he's a movie star."
The discovery. This is where I find out, who is that man? Dude, you look cool in that scene. And Juancho had to play for real 3-4 nights in a row in construction boots.
I think it was the toughest part of the movie, like do like 3 or 4 nights in a row, full nights, 8-9 hours of full basketball playing defense on boots. It was crazy.
He was nice enough because he wears size 25 shoes. He let me sleep in those boots at night. He was like, go ahead, Adam, jump in there.
Every time they change the cameras, is Adam playing against the random guys. If he stopped for 5 minutes, I was just sitting down. I couldn't even walk. And he'd go and play one-on-ones against the guys. I was like, what?
The energy is not real energy. It's just simply fighting the fact that I eat so much that I'm like, oh, I feel so bad. I better go play basketball.
I fly home tomorrow.
Is that what you want to do? Hey, you love this game?
Do
I
you?
love this game. I live
Do
this
you love
game.
it?
I remember that scene because that was the last day of Anthony Edwards after like 3 or 4 weeks. And when he left, Adam come to me, I was like crying for real, but even because one of my friends left.
When Juancho and Anthony would talk to each other, you'd just be like, yeah, leave those guys alone. They're so happy. Brotherhood, it was beautiful.
Where you from? Spain. Sounds weird.
Yeah.
You think you can stop me? Welcome to America.
Juancho's character, Bo, has to block Anthony Edwards' dunk, right? And Anthony was just like, oh, come on, man. I can't let that happen.
Anthony tried to dunk on me so hard, like he almost break the ball bounced around. I told Ant, man, I gotta block you. He said, there is no way I let you block me.
When we had a stunt arm there for a second, Anthony goes, no. He goes, Juancho's one thing, but there's no way I'm letting him block me. Remember when we were shooting that last game when all your fellow NBA guys were there? There's just like 100 balls at all times, everybody shooting, challenging each other. It was incredible. All those guys on the Sixers, man, come on. They were so cool. When you guys would hang out, man, with Tobias and Matisse and Maxi, and they're just comfortable with each other. They're all living the same life. And it was good. You guys all became tight.
When we play like guys like Trey Young, I never talked to him. He came to me, give me a hug. I talk to everybody like he's on the movie, like he's in my movie, whatever. We have a great time together.
Curry was cool as hell that night when you were playing Tobias. Just great guys.
Okay, Okay, one
Finish.
more.
Go with the left.
Wow.
So happy when they don't block me. That's not me. That's me. I gotta go. Take it, Sandman. Oh, you got it. Too good. Very nice that they gave me space.
I want to see your misses too. Your 1,000 of misses.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of those. I said a pick. Now I get it? Not even a thought of shoot. Can I tell you something about this day on the court? It was a bad warped ball. That's why I was dribbling so weird. It had something. Every time it bounced, it was coming up to the air.
You see, he's not going back on defense. No look
Great
back.
dime. That was a great no look, or I looked a little. I have the ball a lot this game. What's happening with this hoppy skippy? Good pass! Oh, he got
Wow.
Wancho, what'd you think?
You like white magic, man. Ooh.
Yeah, someone you can trust. That kid hit one in my face and won the game, by the way. If you were there, it would have been a whole other story. I would have got you the ball literally every time. No look, gotcha. I never saw that shot. That was nice. You can't look where you're passing, Wancho. That's your problem. You're always looking.
I'm not passing at all.
That's true.
I just try to learn from him, and he teach me all the things, and he tell me a lot of his stories, and I just try to learn the journey. And one of the days we on the airport, and we got like kind of like drama scene, and it's about saying goodbye, and he was like, "I love you, Stanley. I love you, Bo." He was joking and laughing, and then the Jeremiah say, "Okay, let's roll," and he completely changed, and I was like even laughing. I was remembered, and I couldn't like focus, and I was.
I loved you. It was very easy to be real with you, buddy, because I do love you. And I did hate saying goodbye to you, buddy. Wancho, by the way, didn't need too many tips from me, man. He's a natural. He's a great guy. And basketball-wise, I don't really, I can't play like Wancho. He's at a different speed. I can't pick too many tips up because you think somebody's open when Wancho's there. You throw a pass and Wancho's like, I got that. He's just too fast, too good.
Adam don't need tips for playing basketball. In the NBA, it's probably like 50% of the players who love basketball less than Adam. Like probably Adam watches more basketball than the 50 of the league. Even if you see a basket on the street, he's gonna go and shoot. That's a real hooper.
Thank you. Yes, I do love it. And I love the Wanch for sure. Well, that was Players Breakdown, Wancho. Anything you want to say to them?
Thanks for support us.
Good man.
Coming up next,
Barry Lamar Bonds. The greatest player I've played against, period. And I've played against some great ones. There's nothing like being in the ballpark, playing against Barry, where he hits the ball and you hear the crack of the bat. And you hear all the haters stand up and cheer because they know they're witnessing something great. When he steps up, it's an event. It's no longer a baseball game. It's the rock stars on stage and everybody expects a show. I really can't say I've ever seen a sweeter swing. When I would struggle, I would sit there and just watch his tapes. I'm confident. I'm the best player ever. Barry being such a dominant force, being walked with the bases loaded because they were that afraid of him. This is Jimmy Rollins on a Player Breakdown, and I want to talk to y'all a little bit about Barry Lamar Bonds. Hands down, the sweetest swinging cat from the Bay Area. Barry Lamar Bonds on deck. Do not miss it. Barry Lamar Bonds. The greatest player I've played against, period. And I've played against some great ones.
There's a long one to right field. Forget about it. Barry Bonds with a spectacular 3-run homer.
Mount Rushmore, he's gonna start with him. Regardless of the controversy, how you feel about him, the things he was able to do and accomplish, just simply amazing. Ooh. Hate him or not, when he steps up, it's an event. It's no longer a baseball game. It's the rock stars on stage and everybody expects a show.
Busted his bat. Can you believe that?
What do you have, like 100,000 intentional walks in one season and still hit 70-something home runs, swung and missed maybe 3 or 4 times? That's just unheard of. If he swung the bat, Worst case scenario was a foul tip. He didn't waste pitches. And I'm telling you, he hit me a line drive that caught me. I'm just glad my face wasn't in the way because I like my face, and I'm glad it's still intact. Baseball, you have two sides to play, offense and defense. I think defense is something that we're expected to be good at. You know, you have a glove, you should make that play, you should do this, you should do that. Everybody understands how difficult it is to be a great hitter. So when you're such a dominant hitter, that overshadows everything. You look at the Hall of Fame, very seldom do we talk about what they do defensively or what their career was like defensively. You got Ozzie Smith, you know, who would be talked about, obviously, just, you know, he's a Wizard of Oz. Outside of him and maybe a couple other guys, it's all about offense. It's what did you do offensively? All this weighted runs created, home runs, RBIs, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, all those things that they determine make you a good ball player. And it's really only one side of the ball. If you're a premium position middle infielder, well, there's a lot of weight put on that also. Like if I wasn't doing my job on that side, it wouldn't matter what I did offensively because they'd have shipped me out to the grass and said, we're gonna get a real shortstop in here to do that.
Bond's going, and he steals it without a throw, and that's number 500.
So Barry being such a dominant offensive force, you talk about intentional walks, being walked with the bases loaded because they were that afraid of him. With 2 outs, be it, that says something, that we respect you so much that we don't even want to deal with you. More than anything, on top of that, offense is probably the fastest way to change the game. Runner on first, Barry's up, it's a 2-run home run. That could be a 2-0 lead. You can make a great defensive play, but offense is what you get praised for. Favorite Barry Bonds home run? There are so many. There's the record breaker. There's him passing his godfather, Willie. But I'd have to say my favorite, because I was in the ballpark, was the first pitch fastball from John Lieber off the McDonald's sign. And, you know, I've been a fan of seeing so many on TV, but there's nothing like being in the ballpark playing against Barry, or if you're his teammate, you know, you got to see a lot of them playing with him, where he hits the ball and you hear the crack of the bat. And you hear all the haters stand up and cheer because they know they're witnessing something great. The venom that was getting poured, you know, his way in Philly until that ball came off the bat. That's probably my favorite home run. I really can't say I've ever seen a sweeter swing, and there are a lot of swings I admire. Albert's one, Griffey's another one. Mark McGwire had a swing, but Barry Bonds, when I would struggle, I would sit there and just watch his tapes just to see what he's doing. Not that I was trying to be Barry, because you can't be Barry. That's like playing golf and saying, I'm going to do what Tiger does. You can't do it. But what are the takeaways? Because that swing was so pretty, and I would get in the box and just imagine, I'm Barry. I'm confident, I'm the best player ever, and I got a sweet swing. And that's how a lot of times I would get myself out of slumps, just to imagine I was him. And it's amazing how, you know, acting can get you out of being who you are. I'm playing a role. I'm not Jimmy Rollins, who's, you know, one for my last 20. I'm Barry, who doesn't swing and miss.
Home run, Jimmy Rollins.
He probably doesn't know that, but he's gotten me out of a few slumps. My advice to you young athletes out there, no matter what sport it is that you're playing, find somebody that you admire. Watch them when they're in the box. What are they thinking? You know, that's how you learn the game. You don't know what's actually going on in their minds, but you have to play a game in your own head. That's how you teach, that's how you learn. How would you have made that play? Put yourself in their shoes and imagine that to you. So when it happens in the game, you've already done it. You can either do your homework or be left behind. But it starts with visualization. Your mind does not know if you're physically doing it or if it's something that is just running through. We don't communicate the way we're talking right now. Your body doesn't communicate like that. Close your eyes, visualize how it feels, that you're gonna have success, and don't be surprised when it happens.
Number 73.
So there you have it, the breakdown of Barry Lamar Bonds, the most dangerous and feared hitter of our time. Do not miss it.
Coming up next.
Breaking his ankle, but the ball still in his glove. Robbing home runs. and then doing it with a big smile. Who didn't want to swing like Griffey? Swing, man. Cold piece. That boy was cold. Was the most influential player of the 90s. He changed the way we looked at it. Smile. Know you're good. And show it. Hit the home run. Don't stand up tall. Big chest. But he did it with such a joy that it was infectious. This is Jimmy Rollins on a player breakdown. Here to talk about the kid, someone I admire, Ken Griffey Jr. And if he didn't get injured, we're talking about the best player of all time. Swingman, good friend of mine. That man was sweet. He might be, along with Willie Mays, two guys in the Hall of Fame that you legitimately talk about both sides of the plate. Griffey, sacrificing himself, going into the wall.
He goes to the wall, trying to time it, and made the catch. Oh my! Oh.
Breaking his ankle, but the ball still in his glove. Robbing home runs.
Tagging up, and he's going to go. Here comes the play at the plate. It's going to be close.
And then doing it with a big smile. I mean, he was never not happy. The attitude that he appeared to have, the joy of running down balls, running into the wall, throwing you out, making a slide and play. He didn't make it seem like a job. It was still a game with him. He's entertainment. Hit the home run. He gonna watch it, he gonna stand up tall, big chest, but he did it with such a joy that it was infectious. There's business of baseball for sure, but when you step between those white lines, it's a game. Turn his hat backwards, talking trash to his dad, just all those things as a kid, you dream about doing. But for him, they were a reality, all of them. We swinging. Who didn't want to swing like Griffey? Swing, man. Cold piece, that boy was cold. By far, he definitely was the most influential player of the 90s. He changed the way we looked at it. He allowed things that hadn't been allowed, and that was to have fun playing baseball. Smile, be flamboyant, know you're good, and show it. Ooh. Oh, we didn't even talk about how he could just throw you out at the plate, too. And no need to talk about it. We let the film do it for us. I mean, there was nothing he couldn't do. I mean, and you talking about changing the game. I'm not talking about just, what he did on the field. We're talking about the alternate uniforms. That was his idea, to put the sleeveless uniforms of Seattle, giving like a future night. Having every team wear number 42 on Jackie Robinson Day. And these are ways that he changed the game. He had an impact, not only as a player, but what he stood for in the game. So I appreciate and admire everything that he stands for. But as a young kid, it was just about what he did on the field. All of it. Nothing was weak. You need a stolen base here, go do that. You need him to get a big hit, you do that.
Well hit deep to right field. Goodbye, baseball.
Ball hitting the gap, you need the play to be ran down, he do that. Great teammate, he was that. There was really nothing he could have improved on other than trying to be perfect. Oof. Look at that big old smile. We always would smile, or you see the celebration for something you do great offensively. He enjoyed doing that defensively. He wanted the joy come from taking a hit from you when you thought you had a hit, taking a home run away from when you thought you had a home run. And that's when the Yankee Stadium, probably felt better because we know the way he felt towards the Yankees. When his dad was there and they kicked him out the dugout and he's looking at other kids and it's like, okay, no other team was offering him contracts other than the Yankees, he would have retired. So I'm sure anytime he did something against the Yankees, it felt that much better.
Rips it deep. Goodbye, home run hit Yankee Stadium.
For me, seeing someone enjoy the game that much reminds me of how it's supposed to be. That yes, there's some seriousness to it. There are people in the stands. You're gonna have writers, you're gonna have broadcasters, some saying good things, some saying bad things, but at the end of the day, when you were a kid, none of that matters. You didn't care if the other team was heckling you. Hey, batter, swing. It didn't matter because you were playing a game that brought joy to your life. This was an escape for a few hours from homework, from parents. This was your haven. When you looked at Ken Griffey Jr., when I looked at him growing up, when I look at Tatis now, when they play, nothing else matters. It's not about how much money they're making. It's about what's happening right here in this moment. So when you see that and you're really in that moment with them, you can forget about it too. You know, it allows for escapism between those white lines and that stadium on that field. Everything else goes away. Nothing matters. Just the joy of playing the game. The same joy that I had when I was a kid. If it wasn't for injuries, Griffey might have 800 home runs. I mean, he was just on a tear, but that's part of the story. You can what if a lot of players, but Junior, the things he could have accomplished if he hadn't got banged up, but that was the way he played, sacrificing his body to make that defensive play. Went to Cincinnati, his hometown, and just seemed like he couldn't stay healthy on the field, but accomplished a lot of things. What hit, like 600 on Father's Day or something like that.
And a high drive, hit back into deep right field. Boy, what a Father's Day gift for Senior.
It was just, you know, all these things that, like I said, as a kid, you dream to do it. He's a rookie, he's hitting back-to-back home runs with his dad. How cool is that? You know what I'm saying? How many people can say they did that? But had he stayed healthy, he'd for sure, in my mind, be hands down the best player of all time. And that's always debatable, but if he was healthy, the trajectory he was on, I think it's no doubt. So there you have it, the breakdown of the kid, Ken Griffey Jr. In my opinion, could have been the greatest player of all time, but still, 99.7 is not justice. We want 100. Keep it 100.